what is something simple that that somebody listening right now could take away from this and be like, where you're like, hey, just if you can get this part right, start with that, and then now you can start to fiddle with some other things. Like we see this problem all the time. I can cut down on half my calls a year just by addressing this right now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's I feel like a broken record saying this, so I almost like bite my tongue and I don't. But I think 30% of us, or people listening now that have coilovers on their car, or some sort of adjustable suspension that has like the ability to adjust ride height and spring preload, or at least spring preload. I bet you 30% of the listeners don't have it set up. They don't have their shock set up in the optimal like stroke range and the optimal position, meaning that it's either topping out because it's running out of suspension travel on the rebound stroke. So after you hit a bump, the car floats up and it like tops out, and it's given a really poor quality, like ride quality, or lifting the wheel off the ground.
It could actually just wheel hop altogether.
It can, if it's extreme.
Okay.
Or sometimes it's just as subtle as you're like, all of a sudden feel like, whoa, like, you know, like a roller coaster where you're just like, oh, your stomach dropped for a little bit and you're like, what just happened? But the car never came off the ground. Or complete opposite. It could be feeling very harsh and stiff, but in all reality, it's just ramping into the bump stop too much because your static ride height is consuming too much of the total amount of suspension travel that you have. Kind of back to the GT86 FRS BRZ rear suspension dilemma that a lot of people were saying this car is just crap because in all reality, the rear shock just wasn't. And this doesn't take you removing the shock and sending it to a shop to get this like rebuilt. This is something that after you listen to this podcast, you can go in your garage and jack up the car and put it on the ground and measure how much the wheel's drooping out. And we have guides on Feel Suspension's website. You know, it doesn't matter if you have Feel coilovers or some other brand. You could literally go and probably 30% of you guys listening, you could probably improve the ride quality of your car for free just by doing that.